Hi guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. Thank you so much for ordering from me last month. I really do appreciate it. And this was the first thank you gift that I gave out at the end of April. This is the exclusive video to those that placed at least a $20 order with me before shipping and tax. And if you did that, then you're getting this video. And I just thank you so much for ordering. Now, this is going to be the Winged Gatefold Card is what it's called. And this is what it looks like. You open it up with the belly band. Now, this will look better. This was an afterthought when I first made it. You can tell it's kind of looks a little blurry. I tried to stamp it when it was already put together, and I didn't do a very good job. So that's why it's messed up. It'll look good. But this looks so plain to me, and I already had it all put together, so I tried it. But this one's stamped okay. But it opens up like this. Isn't that cool? I love this. And this is with the new suite that's called Beautiful Gallery. It's in the annual catalog. It's the one that's got the beautiful paper. But I'm going to show you how to make this. So I'm going to go ahead and send you guys a PDF too. It's only going to have the sizes and everything. So that way you can cut everything out and you can come back and make the card with me. So just check that PDF out, or you can just watch this video first and then you can make it again later. But you'll get all the sizes in that PDF. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I'm good. There are two bundles in the Beautiful Gallery suite, and I'm going to be using both of them. This is Beautiful Motifs. This is the one that's got the sentiments on it, and it's also got a few images. For this card, I'm using this stamp here, the Thinking of You, and I'm Here For You Always. And then I am going to use one of the dies too, and it's going to be this one here. And then we've got one more bundle. This one is the Gallery Blooms. And we are going to use the frame, so I want to grab that frame die. And let's put this over here, and we're going to need this one right here. This is going to be the one that cuts that image out. So those are all the dies that we need. And then with the stamps, you're going to need this one here, and these two. So all three of the top ones right there, those are the stamps you're going to need. Okay, I thought first we get some stamping done and coloring, and then I'll show you how to make the actual card base. So first off, I'm going to grab a piece of basic beige. This is a 2 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch piece, or actually two this size. Grab one of them. I'm going to grab the large flower and pecan pie. Get this closed up and ink this up really good. Whenever it's a large stamp, I will turn it over and then turn the ink pad over and pounce on it. A lot easier to make sure that I know it's definitely all covered up. Now, this doesn't have to be right in the center because we're going to be die cutting it. Just make sure it's not too close to an edge. Hold this down for a few seconds. There we go. So that is ready. I'm going to put that to the side. Then grab that really little piece of basic beige. That's a 2 by 1/2 inch. So 2 by 1/2 inch. Bring that pecan pie in. I don't know why I closed that. I'm going to grab the Thinking of You, ink that up. And this is just going to go in the center, maybe over to the right just a little bit. Yeah, I would go over to the right a little bit. There we go. Put that in my little dish because that's small. I don't want to lose that. Then I'm going to grab a small piece of basic beige. We'll get all the basic beige out of the way. This one is 1 3/4 by 3 1/2. This is the inside of the card. We still need the pecan pie, but not just yet. Grab that Lost Lagoon. And then I want you to grab that long floral background type stamp that's in the Beautiful Motifs set. I'm going to ink this up. And it really doesn't matter which side you go with. I'm just going to come down just a little bit, make a little border right there. And then I'll do the same down there. There we go. And then I'm going to grab my pecan pie, grab that last sentiment that I had you get out, the one I'm Here For You Always. I'm going to stamp that near the top. So that is actually, oh no, that is not all the stamping. I did want to show you how I cut up this DSP. So I just grabbed one of the pieces of the Beautiful Gallery DSP. I'm not going to show you all the images, all the designs in this one. I'll do another public video sometime with another project with this because I love this suite. I'm definitely going to be making more with it. But with this one, I want to show you how I cut this up. It took a little thinking before I started cutting it because I wanted to get it just right. So I want to make sure the house is on the left. And I'm going to cut this at 3.5 inches. So I've got that at 3.5. Okay. Then get it upright again. And then I need, let's see, how many of these do I need? 4 1 3/4 strips. So I'll go to 1 3/4 here. Cut. 1 3/4. And cut. And here's another 1 3/4. And with this one, I'm going to be using this side. Now I'm going to grab this one, and I need, see, that was only 3, so I need another one that is 1 3/4 by 3.5. So I'm going to go ahead and go to 3.5. It really doesn't matter which side you go with. Then do 1 3/4 again. Make sure I'm thinking right on the size. Yes, I didn't want to cut that wrong. And then I'm going to be using this side. So these are the 2 you're going to use at this side, where the main part of the house is. And then the other 2 are going to be on this side. And then you've still got a few pieces left over to use on some other projects. But I want to be able to show you how I did that. So if you use this exact same sheet, you'll know how to cut that out. So put that to the side. And, oh, the stamping is done, but I need to do some coloring. So I'm going to bring this back in. Always like to put some paper underneath when I'm using blends, just in case, because it does bleed through. I have to admit, I haven't had it happen, but if I had it bleed a little more than I think it's going through, then I wanted to get on this grid paper. If it got on my glass mask, no big deal. But if I'm at my desk, I don't want that mark on my desk. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Lost Lagoon. I'm going to start with the dark. And I'm going to color the center section with the dark Lost Lagoon. And there's a little center section here. And there's one here. I think I'm even going to go over it a couple times to get it good and dark. Sometimes you want to put a few layers on, because you can see that's what I was talking about, soaking it through the cardstock. Okay, then I've got a couple other places. I think it probably should be a little darker. Like there's some lines here. There's some there. So any place on the flowers, mainly where there are lines, Stampin' Up! Lets us know where something should be dark. Maybe not everything. But when you see lines, a lot of times that's kind of like a little fold, and you can get it a little darker. There's a little bit right there. I might even put a little bit right there. That looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit right here. Okay. Oh, I see another line right here. Okay, now I'm just going to color in the rest of the flowers with the light Lost Lagoon, going over the dark. And I'm just going to put one layer all the way around. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now that I've done that, I saw a couple places I wish I put a little more dark. So I'm going to put a little bit more here. There we go. Now there's still some places it's actually too dark. So I'm going to take my light Lost Lagoon again and go over where it's dark just to blend those in a little bit. I'm not going to color the whole thing because I kind of like it almost makes it get to be 3 shades instead of just the 2. If you don't go over all of that light Lost Lagoon again, it'll stay a little lighter than the rest of it. So it's kind of like little highlights. But that center section, I definitely wanted to kind of blend a little bit more. The center sections, actually, I'm okay with them being a little darker. They were just a little too dark. Now these little lines, though, I do kind of want those blended in a little more. So that looks pretty good. So I'm going to put this away. Now I need to get my Mossy Meadow out. Do the same type thing. I've got the dark Mossy Meadow. And places where I think it needs to be dark, especially where you see these lines, because that's like the crease in the leaf. And here near the bottom, like the base part of the leaf, I'm going to use the dark. Okay, there's not a lot of dark. Oh, there's a little line up there. Let's put a little bit there. Now I'm going to take my light Mossy Meadow and color in the rest of it. And first I'm going to do one layer. Okay, I've got the one layer, and now it's had a chance some of it to dry, so I can tell that this needs to get a little blended in. Just a few places. Some of it looks just fine without blending it in. I think that looks pretty good. That's one thing when you use our blends, you just keep adding until it looks good to you. And it does lighten up after it dries a little bit. And it dries pretty quick since it's alcohol-based. So that is all done. Let's grab, I forgot there are 2 more things we need to stamp. Let's get these 2 pieces out. I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pierce mat again. I knew there was a reason I stopped and cut these because we need to stamp these. I want to grab this flower first. I'm going to use my Lost Lagoon. Both these flowers will be stamped in Lost Lagoon. And just stamp it close to the center. Doesn't have to be perfect. There's that one. Oh yes, that looks much better than my original. It helps to stamp before you get it attached to the card for sure. And then this one, I'm going to angle it some so it fits. It's a pretty long one. So the stem, I've kind of got more down here at the bottom in the corner, and then it fits perfect. Okay, now that is all the stamping we need to do. So let's go ahead and get the die cutting machine out so we can get that part done. Okay, first off, let's get some die cutting done. So we need the base platform number 1, die plate number 2, and a standard cutting plate number 3. And I'm going to grab this one. And this is the image should fill in the center part of this die completely. Let's see if I can get my microphone moved. I always have to move that microphone when I'm trying to line things up. There we go. That's not too bad. So I'm going to take some Post-it tape. You can use Post-it notes too. There we go. 2 is probably good enough. And I think there's one more thing we can put through the same time. This is a piece of Mossy Meadow. It is 2 1/4 by 4 1/2. And I'm going to grab that fern looking die. I'm not going to worry about doing tape. If you want to, you go right ahead. I'm just going to make sure it stays on the cardstock. Then I'm going to put another standard cutting plate on top. Looks like that's still on the cardstock, and that didn't move. So now I'm ready to have it go through. Take all this off. And the tape. And there's that first image, and it does take out some of the center sections, which I love. There we go. Then, get this out of the way. Got a couple little pieces here to pick up. This one's probably going to have some more little pieces. And it looks like nothing is popping up a little bit, so I'm going to grab my take your pick tool. And when you see these the little holes, those are places where you can poke and it pushes the die out. Now be really careful when you take this out because it is very delicate. And if there's a part that doesn't want to come up, then start poking it again. And there are a few pieces that need to come out. So I'll take that one out. Some of these little ones, sometimes I can kind of flick them out with my fingers. There we go. Didn't that die cut really beautifully? Okay, so I'm going to put that there. I'm not going to worry about taking all these little pieces out, but I'm going to take those out before I put it away because that'll affect the die cutting the next time I go to use it. Then I need another piece, well, a piece. We haven't used pecan pie yet. This is the pecan pie that is 3 1/2 by 5. And it's going to be using this frame. Now, this die cuts 2 frames plus a rectangle. I only need this middle one right now. So what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and just put that there. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. It doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as it's covering up that middle frame. I made it a lot bigger than it needed to be. That way we don't miss any of that middle frame. Now, you could use a bigger sheet, of course, if you want to make 2 frames and save one. But there is that frame. That's one we want. And I do believe that's all we need to die cut. Now there's some embossing. I'm going to go ahead and get this ready for embossing. I'm going to be using a brand new folder. This is also part of the Beautiful Gallery suite. This is Damask Designs. And if you've got your kit, get all your Lost Lagoon pieces because we're going to be embossing all of those. Now this is just a regular folder. So the way you do the regular folders, you do not need the die plate. So take that away. Put the standard cutting plate down. And now I wanted the Damask Designs to be vertical. Okay, so this is the way it's going to be while I'm putting it in. When we go to put it through the machine, we want to put it in fold first because that protects the embossing folder from breaking. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to grab, I know that I can put 3 of these in. There are actually 4 of these. They're all, let me look at my sheet here, 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, but I can only fit 3 on. I checked. And try to get them in there straight if you can. So I'm kind of looking, well, my machine's kind of in the way. I usually don't do this over my machine. I'm kind of looking up here at the top to see if that looks straight, and it does. Put this down slowly. I'm going to twirl it around because I want that fold to go through first. And believe me, that does make a difference because I didn't used to do that because I didn't know that rule, and I did have one break and didn't stay folded. The actual fold broke. So I'm going to hold this down just for a little bit to make sure they all stay in the right place. Once I get this one underneath this handle, then I know it's okay. There we go. It's a little tight, but it's only because my bottom plate's a little warped. If it was flat, it would be fine. So now we've got these 3 ready to go. Then let's grab that last one. That's 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and this larger one, which is 3 3/4 and 5 1/4. Actually, I can just do it this way without having to flip it over. I was thinking having this up here was going to be a problem, but it's just fine. It's actually a little easier. Okay, so there it's straight. Oh, that was much easier, so do it this way. Then put the standard cutting plate on top again. Run this through. And we've got this one and this one. And there's one more thing to die cut, but I'm going to be using a 3D folder this time. 3D just means that it's fuller, and it has more dimension to it. Some places are thicker, some can not be as thick. It has different heights of the embossing, I guess you could say. So I'm going to grab the frame. I'll go ahead and put it in this way. I want the wood grains and the birch wood to go up and down. So I will open this up, I think, anyway. There we go. And I'll lay this down. Actually, let's do it this way. I'm going to move it over a little bit just so I can get a hold of it. This is such a big folder. If I do it right in the middle and close it, it's probably going to move on me. So this way I can hold it a little longer. There we go. And I've just got it, to keep it straight, I'm going right along that line. That kind of helps. Now with 3D folders, all we want is that base platform right here. Then we put this folder down. And then we use this gray plate. It's called a specialty plate that goes on top. Now, all of these plates that you've seen me use here today do come with our Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. So you don't have to buy these separately. And voila, now we've got some wood grain to our frame. Okay, we're all done with the embossing machine. So let's put this away. And now I'm going to show you how to make this fun fold. Okay, I want you to grab those embossed pieces first before we start making the fun fold. I just remembered this. These can definitely stay the way they are, but I thought they were just a little bit too bright. I wanted this to look more like a shabby chic kind of card. So I'm going to grab my Lost Lagoon, and I've got a blending brush, and I'm going to lightly go over this. So this kind of darkens up mainly the embossed part. I don't know if you can tell it's starting, actually you're starting to show, the damask part is starting to show up a little more. But I just thought this looked really good. And if you get some on the flat part, under the lower part, that is okay. I'm just mainly concentrating. That's why I'm using a lighter touch too. Because like I said, I'm okay. Like there's some places where I can tell that it's getting darker on the flat areas. But I don't want it to be, I still want it to be lighter than what the damask part is. So that's why I'm using a light touch. So hopefully you can see the difference there. So this is what you're going to do with all of these strips. We've got 4 more to do. Okay, those are all ready. Now all the pieces are together. So now I want you to grab your paper trimmer or your Simply Scored scoring tool. I'm going to go ahead and just use I didn't want to dig my simply score the scoring tool out. So I'm going to show you how to do it with this. Now we do need to get the arm out because we're going to be doing some scoring with some big pieces. This is a piece, this is like the actual card base. It's Mossy Meadow, 9 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I want you to, with the 9 1/4 inch side along the top, we need to score at 5/8. Now for me, it's easier for me to do something really small over here. I'll see if I can, because I'm right-handed. So this is just what I'm going to do. Here's my 1/2 inch mark. So now go up 1/8, so that's the 5/8. I want to make sure that my dark blade is out of the way because this is the scoring one. I don't want to be cutting. Okay, now that that is done, I'm going to turn this around. Now, because I'm going to be doing larger ones, so it's easier for me to, I'll have more to hold on to over here with my left hand. Now I want to do it at 2 5/8. So you take the left side, line it up at 2 5/8. So there's the 2 1/2. So go up 2 little lines. That gets you to the 5/8 and score. And then 6 5/8. So here's 6 1/2. So I'm going to go up 2 little lines. There we go. Score. And then 8 5/8. So go to 8 1/2 again, and then go up 2 little lines and score. There we go. So that's what this is supposed to look like. We've got one more thing to score. Grab that long pecan pie piece. This is 10 1/16 by 3 3/4. Now, I will let you know I did not come up with these sizes. I actually tried this at 10 inch, and it did not work. I had a feeling there was a reason they did the 10 1/16, and it was a very good reason, and I'll also explain it here in a minute. So this is 10 1/16. So 1/16 would be that first little line past the 10. So what I need to do, I need to emboss this at 2 4 inches on both ends. So let's start with the left side. I'm going to do 2 inches, then 4 inches. Okay, then flip this over. Do 2 inches again, and 4 inches. Now you notice with this, I'm going over it a few times. It's because this scoring blade doesn't go down really, doesn't make a really good indentation the first time. Or simply scoring tool, you can go down at one time and you're good. So that's why I go over it a few times to make sure I've got it good. Now the reason we did that 2 and 4 inches on both sides instead of going across like we did with this one is because of that pesky little 1/16 inch. We want these 2 ends to be the same 2 inch strips, okay? That's the reason. And then you'll see why the 1/16 was added on. So that is all of the scoring. Whenever I do scoring, I always burnish. So with this one, let's go ahead, and normally it doesn't matter because we are going to do some zigzags, but normally the mountainside is the inside of the fold and the valley is the outside. But what we're going to do, I'm going to take this. We need to fold this one, make sure I'm thinking right, back. Okay. And then we need to do this one back. So both end ones fold back. Okay. And then the 2 inner ones, you fold towards you. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up, and then we'll fold this one. So the 2 outside go back, and the 2 inside go up like this. Okay. Now that we've got that burnt, well, let's go ahead and burnish this too. So with this one, don't worry about, well, no, let's take that back. These end ones here, fold those back. Let's go ahead and fold those back. I'd forgotten this part. It's been a while since I made this card. Okay, so those are back. Then the 2, so it's kind of like the this one here. It is the same. Then the 2 inner ones go in. So you fold them both the same way. The end ones go back, and the outside ones go back, the inside ones go in. There we go. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and start putting some of these pieces on. Grab those Lost Lagoon pieces that we embossed. I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal. Turn this over. Now, the damask design is a little different on the top and bottom, so pick out which one you like. I kind of liked the one that's got this wider design in on top and the narrower part to be on the bottom, but you do whichever way you want, but do them all the same so it looks uniform. So this one is going to go right here. So you just center it between those score lines and the top and bottom of the card base. Okay. Do this one. Get that adhesive on there. Okay, there is that fatter part for the top. So I'm going to put that right here. I'm just hovering it over right now until it looks straight. Then I push it down. Got some paper that stuck to me. There we go. Now let's go ahead and grab the big piece. Put some adhesive on here. And this is going to go here. Make sure I have it upright. There's that part I wanted on top. And this is just going to go right here. Centering it. Okay. Now let's turn this over. We'll take one of the thin ones, or narrow ones again. Put some adhesive on it. Make sure it's upright again. Going the same way as the others, I should say that, because it looks fine the other direction too. Adhesive on this one. And this one will go over here. Okay. So this is ready to go. Let's grab we'll go ahead and put the pieces on this one. So make sure it's looking like this. So this middle section is at the bottom. Grab this one with the sentiment. This is going to go in the middle, like so. Okay. Now let's bring in, because we'll go in and end out. Let's grab the DSP with the house showing. Make sure it's in the right way. You don't want to put it on this way. You want to put it on this way so it's like a puzzle piece. This one is going to go here. So put some adhesive on here. Put this one right here. There we go. And then, last but not least, this one. Okay. And then we've got the two stamped ones that we did a little bit ago. You'd use whichever one you want. I wanted this one to be on the left side. And I'll put this one over here. Get that centered in that section. And this one. And that one goes right here. Okay, let's grab this piece here. And what we're going to do, I don't want you to put adhesive all the way across here. I'm going to probably go farther than I need to, but I'm going to go right across here, maybe leave a couple little ends here. You want to make sure it's wider than this, and it is, or at least the same width, okay? If it's a little longer, that's okay. Do the same thing over here. It's a little easier to do it this way, okay? And then while we're at it, this middle section right here, put some adhesive back here. If you're worried about it coming up, you could also use this Seal Plus, but I think we'll be okay with just the regular. So you're only putting adhesive here. I think I'll even put some right there in the middle. Make sure it's going to stay really good. Okay, so with this down, I'm going to put this middle section right here in the middle, like so. Actually, I can go like this too, and look here. These look about right, and this looks straight. Close these again. That's not too bad. I might move it over to the left just a little bit. There we go. And you can tell the Lost Lagoon over here on each side looks about the same width, and the top and bottom looks pretty good too. So I'm going to go ahead and push this down really good because I don't want it to move. Okay, now just stretch this out, flatten everything. Then you push this down and push this down. There we go. Isn't that cool? Now, it looks a little weird with those green pieces, doesn't it? So what we're going to do, take your scissors, I kind of angle the scissors a little bit, and then stop right at that score line, and then go to the score line here and cut. There we go. So now we don't see that green on there. So do the same thing here. If you angle the scissors like I am, it makes it go underneath just a little bit because you don't want to have any of that green show at all. Stop at that score line. Come down here and cut that rectangle off. So we'll do that here on the other side as well. Okay, now it looks right, doesn't it? Much better. Got a little bit of frayed here. There we go. All right, so we can throw all those little pieces away we just cut off. So the card base is done. And you could leave it like this, but I didn't want it to just look like this. I wanted to have a pretty flower on it stuff. So I'm going to grab this piece here. This is a second piece of basic beige. It's 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to put this frame right on top, okay? So since this is going to be the side we can't see, actually, you know what? Nope, we're going to put it along the edges of this. So I'm going to put some across here. I'm kind of have the top of this be over that just a little bit because I want it to be a little narrow. I just don't want any of that adhesive to show in the opening of the frame. So I'm grab my silicone mat, so if I have any adhesive coming off the edges, it'll go on there and not my glass mat. Okay, I might do that one a little bit wider. Now I can take this, put it on, make sure I don't see any adhesive, and I don't want to see any of the basic beige here on the outer part, and I don't. It's not a big deal if it's not right in the middle. It's not. It's all hidden. There we go. So actually, it's okay if you do the full thing. I had a feeling it was. Well, still have it hang over just a little bit because it's going to be really close if you don't do that. But that is ready to go. So let's put that to this. Well, actually, let's go ahead and put this whole thing together. I'm going to grab the fern. Oops. I have a little bit of sticky. Oh, there's something about that embossed piece. Sometimes it likes to fall apart, and it's kind of humid down here today. It's getting ready to storm outside, so I'm a little humid down here in the basement this week. I'm going to turn this over because I want this to be popped up with dimensionals, and I'm going to use black dimensionals. You can use the white ones, but this is all a little darker colors. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple up there since that's a bigger flower. There's one there. Some here, maybe down here. Make sure you don't cover up any of those holes. And I think I want a little bit right there, so I'm going to grab one of the minis. That's a nice thing with the black ones. You get both sizes in the pack. And then I'll bring this one as far down as I can. So I'm not going to worry about that stem. That looks pretty good. I was thinking about putting one there, but that's going to hold it up, so I think we're going to be fine. I always use my Take Your Pick tool, if I can figure out, there it is. And I put my paper piercer in at an angle and then kind of scoop up the paper backings. That way I can collect them all. Sometimes they fall off, no biggie. But for me, it's collecting them all and keeping them in one spot so I don't have them all over the place. Then I can throw them away. And I don't want to put that on just yet. Actually, let's do this. I think this would be easier. I just remembered what I did. Let's lay, you know what? Let's put a little bit of adhesive on here. I'm going to do glue, though, because I am so scared that this is going to tear it up. So I'm only going to mainly put it down here on the center part of it. Like so. So you don't need it a lot because that flower is going to hold it down. So I think that's probably good enough. Maybe put a couple up here just so it doesn't get torn up. I don't want to put it all the way to the end on some of them because they are going to be hanging over the frame just a little bit. So I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to lay this down so it's angled like this. Those tip top ones are kind of hanging over just a little bit. Bring it down. That's where I want to put it. So now I'm going to put some pressure down. Okay. Then I can take these And I'm just going to angle this a little bit. And I like that. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this set. It is so pretty. And then I'm going to grab the thank you, or thinking of you. Now, this side is going to be attached to the flower. This side is not. So this is already raised up. So we only need a dimensional here on the U side. So I'm going to turn that over. Can't remember if the big ones fit. Oh, yep, they do. I thought they did. And then I'm just going to put some regular adhesive over here on this end. Take that paper backing off. And then this is just going to go. It's going to cover up the bottom of the stem. And I kind of like this hanging over, thankfully. Don't put it all the way at the end. And you might want to put the flat side. I'm just going to tap this down for right now and see. Okay, good, I'm fine. That dimensional is hidden. Showing just a teeny bit. Take my fingernail. There we go. Now you can't see it at all. There, I've forgotten that part. And you know what? It might be a good idea to still use a dimensional. I just remembered we didn't put a dimensional on that stem. So it was starting to look kind of angled. So I'm going to grab, teaching you how to fix it if you do that yourself. Take this off. It's all hard to use take your pick tool now, so I'm going to use my fingernails. Much better. There we go. Now it's flat. So you do want to put dimensionals on both ends, but on the right end, come in a little bit, so that way you don't do what I almost did and had the dimensional showing over here. Okay, one last thing we're going to put on here. I wanted to use the ribbon that comes in the suite, the Beautiful Gallery suite. This is called Basic Beige Classic Ribbon. It's like a linen ribbon is what it reminds me of, and it's really easy to work with. And I'm going to tie this in a bow. It's 9 inches. I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, you want to do the opposite, but I start on the left end, do my little loop, come around, and do my bow. The reason you go on the left end is because most of the wrapping I'm doing with the right end, so I need more of that ribbon. I kind of play around with it till it looks the size I want it. Kind of a medium-sized bow. Actually, I think I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. Not much. Okay, now I'm going to grab my glue dots. I'm going to put the back of the knot on top of a glue dot, and I squeeze it down really, really hard because I want it to take hold in the ribbon, so that's material. And then I'm just going to put this right here on the end of my thinking of you. Now you know why I kind of put it to the right just a little bit. Okay, that's on there really good. Get these out of the way. I'm going to bring my scissors in and trim these ends at an angle. And it is definitely okay if they come over the edge of the frame, because this is still going to be within the card. There we go. We've got this ready, so let's go ahead and put that right there, except for the bling. Oh, let's go ahead and put the bling on. That's probably going to be easier to put on before we put on the belly band. So these are the pressed flower motifs. It's actually bigger. I've had to cut some off for some kits I'm going to be making. This is how the whole package right there. I didn't want to open that up till I needed to. So I'm going to use 1 large and 2 small. So I'm going to grab a large one, put it right here, and a small one. Well, if I can get a hold of it. My putty's a little bit messed up. Let's see if I can get some more on here. There we go. And put this one right here. And then I'm going to grab another small one and put it right up here. Now, if you want to put more on, you go right ahead. I originally was going to, but when I got those on there, I thought, oh, nope, I like that. So I stopped there. So now that is all ready to go. Okay, now I want you to grab the last piece. This is the belly band. It's 11 by 1.5 inches. And I want you to put this in the middle, across the middle. It doesn't have to be all the way to the edge, but close to the edge of this left side. Keep this pushed down, but it doesn't have to be super tight. I'm holding the card down tight, but then I'm loosely, not too loose, but you don't want to make it so tight you can't get the belly band to come off, but you want it to be snug so it'll keep it closed. So there, that is good. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put a few strips right here because I know it's not going to be, this is all going to be covered up because I've got this going all the way across here. Make sure that these long edges are lined up, though, before you bring it all the way down. And they are. Now I'm going to push it down. And now I've got a nice little belly band here. I need to add this on. So while this is on, I know that this is bigger than this section here. So if I just go maybe a little past that, not much, on here, bring this up again. Not a lot. I'm going to put some across here in the middle. Every time I hit my little bump there, it messes up my adhesive. There we go. Then this will go right over there, get it centered. Then when that looks good, then push it down really, really good. And then that is your belly band. So we are done with this card. It's not, I mean, it's not, takes a little bit longer because of all the little pieces, but it's not hard to make at all. And it's a wow card for sure. So anybody would love to get this. Now, this one is a little thicker. So if you're mailing it, you probably will have to do a little more postage. And the first couple times you put the belly band on, it's going to seem really, really tight, but then it loosens up. You don't want it to be, I would rather have to loosen up a little bit rather than not be tight enough. And sometimes you have to lift this up and push this down. It is so much easier after you do it for a while. I have no trouble with the one I've made for a while because it will stretch out and be just right. It's kind of like a pair of new shoes. So there you go. That is how you make a Winged Gatefold card. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, thank you so much for ordering from me last month and getting in on the new Stampin' Rewards. I hope you guys are starting to earn those Stampin' Rewards. And remember, you've got a whole year to use those up. And they do accumulate. So if you place any more orders, you'll get more. You use as much or as little of your Stampin' Rewards as you want, but just make sure you use those up within the year. And thankfully, say you've got $50 banked, but you only want to use like 20 of it or something. Stampin' Up has it set up so it takes the oldest rewards off first, so you don't have to worry. So your newer ones that last longer, those come off last. So that's a nice help. I'm glad they are doing that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you live in the United States and don't have a demonstrator of your own, I know you've ordered from me, but sometimes other people, you have other demonstrators. But if you don't and you have not gotten the new annual catalog yet, just let me know. Go ahead and a lot of you have already got this, but if you don't have it and would like to get a copy, just email me. You can actually contact me. I've got a contact me link down in the video description, and you can also reply back to the email I'm going to send you with a PDF. That's probably the easiest way. I just thought of that. Go ahead and reply to that email. Send me your mailing address, and I'll get your catalog mailed out to you. So just let me know, and I'll get that mailed out to you right away. Now, well, not right away. As I'm doing this, I'm rushing around trying to get ready for the incentive trip. So it might be a couple weeks till you get it, because I'm going to be leaving on Tuesday. This is Thursday. And then on Tuesday, I'm leaving. I still have to make swaps. So I may not be able to get it mailed out right away, but I'll get it mailed out as soon as I get back home. So I will see you guys all later, hopefully in the next video. And have a great day and a great weekend. Bye. Oh, and happy Mother's Day.